Hello, my name is Vladimir Vuskovic. I lead product in Cloud AI for Vertex AI Search and Agent Space. And today we will be talking about AI-powered search and agents, basically about how you can use the products from Vertex AI Search to transform the way that your users interact with your websites or applications. Today we will be covering first some of the trends that we are seeing in how users search for information, find information, and then interact and use the information. And then after that, we'll be covering the products that we offer in Vertex AI Search that allow you to change the way and transform the way that your users interact with your websites and applications. So as we said, search is changing. It's changing in different ways. So while in the past, the users would be searching with just keywords and then expecting to just find as return a list of blue links, mostly around text. Increasingly today, the users are formulating full sentences, like full semantically meaningful questions, and they expect rich answers that go into the details of what they are asking. Furthermore, what we are observing is that what actually engages users is that when this conversational experience with the users is also not purely textual, but actually when this conversational experience is multimodal and offers at the same time in an integrated way a conversation together with a visual and browsable experience. So while you are asking and conversing, you are seeing the results visually appearing on the screen. On top of that, the users want a very personalized experience, and even more, they want agentic experiences, meaning that they actually want to be able to interact with the information and act on it and maybe book tickets and so on. So getting all of this wrong can have dire consequences for the engagement of your users. So for example, if you misunderstand the user intent and you're not really fulfilling the actual question and missing some details, you will, for example, if the user is asking romantic gateway in Paris with a spa, and you are not getting them exactly the type of resource that they are looking for, but even slightly misunderstand what they are actually looking for, this can lead to search abandonments, frustration, and basically for you, that means a loss in leads and acquisition of users. The same thing is for browsable recommended content. If you are serving to all users the same content, you are missing out on opportunity to personalize. Then users will, again, have lower customer satisfaction, and you will see a drop in your site and brand loyalty. The same way, if you're not getting into the details of the answer to what your customers are asking and just giving them some other generic information again, this will result again in lower user satisfaction, but also in increased customer service requests, because users will then need another way to find answers to what they are trying to find out. And this will again lead to loss in incremental revenue for you. So overall, we know that 82% of consumers will avoid websites where they've experienced consistent search difficulties. This is a huge number, and overall, we've seen we think that there is a 2 trillion lost opportunity globally due to basically not ideal search experiences. So at Google.com, we have been working to solve this problem and use the latest technologies to engage users in the way that we described before. With the launch of AI Overviews that now is rolled out in more than 100 countries and already has been used by more than 1 billion users, we are seeing that this type of rich answers and engaging user experiences is leading to actually users who search more, who are more satisfied, who click more on the links to find out more information about the information that we are providing in the answers. And this is really one of the biggest search improvements that we've seen in over 20 years. Even more, with the launch of AI Mode, we are offering the users an even more immersive and comprehensive conversational experience, and the ability as well to act on the information, to book tickets, to shop, and so on. So the future of search is here. On Google and Google AI, we already are unleashing this full potential. And the topic of today is really to show you what tools you can use, tools from Vertex AI Search that our team does, that you can use to actually deploy these same technologies and obtain the same type of result on your own websites, being that any website or some customizable type of experiences, or your commerce or media services. And with this, I'm happy to hand over to Ismail.
Thanks, Vlad, and hi, everyone. My name is Ismail Najim, and I'm the product manager for Vertex AI Search Custom and Sites. As Vlad just shown you, the future of search is changing before our eyes, and Vertex AI Search allows you to modernize your site and apps so that you can access what the future of customer interactions look like. We help bring the latest AI, personalization, and search capabilities from Google in order to drive your website and apps through 4 different experiences. The first one is providing you a personalized search that is intuitive for your customers to use so that they can find the services, the products, and the information they're looking for. The second experience we enable is AI overview and AI mode, the same as you experience in Google search, but this time on your own data. This allows you to engage your users, answer their questions, or even deflect support. The third experience is personalized browsing. This allows you to personalize and customize the feeds on your website and apps so that they become custom for each of your users, boosting engagement, retention, and loyalty. And then finally, the first experience we are working on now is our agentic mode experience. This allows your users to do more than just converse. It helps them achieve tasks guided by agent, such as planning a travel or booking a provider. Now, Vertex AI Search modernizes your websites and apps with business in mind. It actually drives business results, whether it's engagement that you care about, revenue per session and purchases, or even deflecting tickets and customer support usage. All of this accessible on top of our fully managed service with all of the controls that you need. Now, I would like to show you what the product looks like and what it can do before we dive into the details. And I will start with a simple demo on top of Forbes website. So just to show you how I'm able to construct this solution, I can actually create a crawl on any site within 1 day. And this allows me to search through the website very quickly and access Google level, Google grade quality within 1 day. And so here I constructed this data store, and then I can already start searching and using all the semantic capabilities that I want to get the relevant results I'm looking for. Let's say that I'm looking to invest in data centers. I can start searching, what should I consider when investing in data centers? And this is quite a semantic long query, and still we're able to receive very relevant results on the top here. Now, the power of Vertex AI Search is that it's way more than just search. I can also get AI overviews, which allow me to answer questions and get more out of my queries. So let me show you how this works. I can choose to go from search to search with follow-ups. And this allows me to access the AI overview. And I will choose to use Gemini 2.0 Flash for this answer generation. And now I can start asking questions and receiving answers grounded in the Forbes website. Let's say, for example, that I want to know who's the richest person in the world. And then within a few seconds, I'm receiving results from Forbes that give me a lot of details and answer my question. As of June 1st, so as you can see, this is really fresh data, and then I'm receiving the answer. Now, more powerful than this, I can also choose to customize this answer generation. I can go here and I can say, you know what? This is quite a long answer, especially if I want to engage my users. So I can change the summary and I can say, answer in a concise and engaging way, provide an answer in 3 bullet points. And so as you can see, this should change the way the answer is provided. Who's the richest person in the world? So we're doing the same query. We're going to receive the same search results, but the actual answer generation is very different. It has followed my instructions, and this allows you to change the tone, the length, the style of your answers very quickly while still being grounded. Now let's look at a few different functionalities here in addition to being able to change the style. As you can see here, I'm receiving grounded citations, which allow me to see where each piece of information is coming from. So this is very helpful if you want to make sure that the data is actually correct, or if you just want to allow your users to deep dive into each article and read more and learn more about the subject. I'm also able to have a follow-up discussion, which will maintain the context of my conversation. So I can say here, how did he get rich? And so I'm not mentioning Elon Musk here, but the conversation will keep track of that information and will answer within context. You also have suggested follow-ups, and this can ignite your users to ask more, follow up, and engage more with the answer generation. Now, Vertex AI Search applies on websites. It applies on unstructured data that you can provide us, such as PDFs or documents. But it also applies on structured data that has metadata that you can organize. And one perfect example of this is hotel search. So when you're searching for a hotel, many of us would like to express just what they need without having to work with all of the filters and all of the maps and the location. Vertex AI Search makes this possible. Let's say, for example, that I'm searching and I want a pet-friendly hotel in the south of France with a beach view and a spa. This is very difficult to achieve in most hotel searches today. But with Vertex AI Search, I can get exactly what I need very simply. Now let's look at what Vertex AI Search did. The first step of this search is that we identified southern France as a location, and we made the search happen only in that region. The second step of this search is that we identified many requirements that this user has provided, and we extracted them as filter: pet allowed, spa. And then everything else, all of the rest, we've used the hotel description, the hotel images, the reviews, all of that unstructured information to get you exactly what you need. Now imagine how this can apply to many other use cases: contractor search, directory searches, searches for tickets, etc., etc. And this makes it much easier for anyone to find the exactly what they're looking for. Now we're going to look at another use case, which is provider search, and we're going to see how you can combine our ability to search structured data with answer generation so that you can make it easier for users to be guided through experiences such as finding the right provider, the right doctor to book. So here I have a provider data set, and let's imagine that I have a skin rash and need help in New York. So I don't know who I need to see when I have a skin rash. I'm thinking maybe a dermatologist, but I want the answer generation, or I want the search to guide me. And as you can see here, I receive results that are relevant to exactly what I just shared in terms of symptoms. And I also receive an answer generation that helps me look at the best person to go see, which is either a dermatologist or actually even an allergist and an immunologist. Now, let's say that I want coverage for Medicare. So I can say I need someone who accepts Medicare. And the search will refine, maintain the context again of what I'm looking for, and then give me options that actually accept Medicare. So this makes it much easier for anyone to find the doctors they're looking for, the tickets they're looking for, the hotels they're looking for, etc. Now, let's go back to the product itself. And now that we've seen these couple of demos, I want to open up the box a bit and explain to you how this search works. How are we able to make all of this happen? So as we've seen, Vertex AI Search is our versatile, customizable core product. It takes into input many types of data. It can be a site index that we crawl for you. It can be structured catalogs like directories, hotels, ticket search, and it can also be semi-structured data. Think about a PDF or a document with metadata attached to it. We also take user interactions. What do people search on your site and apps? What do they click on? What do they convert on? And this is very helpful for personalization. And finally, we also take into account business rules and configurations so that you can put your strategy within the product. Then the way the product works is that it pulls all of the energy and all of the AI from Google to power exceptional experiences. It all starts with the data. When we receive your data, we enrich it using Google's knowledge graph. We annotate images, we annotate graphs, and we start parsing and chunking the data, all managed behind the scenes. And then when a search happens, we bring, first of all, the best of Google's relevance stack. This includes, obviously, keyword search. It includes embeddings, and we use multiple types of embeddings, cross-attention, normal embeddings that help us really get that semantic understanding. But we go beyond that. We also use Google's knowledge graph, Google's intent detection to be able to understand what is this person really looking for, and then make sure that the search takes into account that. We use Google Web Signals, which give us information about how popular this search is on the web. What are good pages on your website to answer these types of queries and questions? So all of this happens behind the scene. We're also able to do what we call advanced semantic parsing. This is the ability to take a query, identify locations, as well as filters, such as we've seen in the hotel demo. We then add on top of all of this AI personalization and KPI optimization. This essentially uses deep learning models to learn from your user behavior and optimize the KPIs you care about, such as click-through rate, revenue per session, or even time spent on site. So anything that is driving your business can be driven by Vertex AI Search. And finally, the grounded AI generation, which drives AI overviews, uses way more than RAG. We actually are able to reason on top of a query, break it down into multiple search steps, multiple refinements, reason on top of it, all the way so that we can bring you an answer that is grounded with citations and that actually covers even the most complex queries. Now, all of this is great. As you've seen, there is a lot that happens behind the scene for Vertex AI Search to provide exceptional experiences, but we also understand that every one of you has their own specific use case, their own specific needs, and business focus. And that's why Vertex AI Search provides extended controls and configurations so that you can make the search your own. You can get started within a day and have a really good quality search and beyond, but you can also customize, configure, change the way things work so that you can get exactly what you need for your use case. And this happens across the board. You can customize the data processing part, choosing the chunk size, what we should process the data, what annotations we should include. You can change the way queries are understood and rewritten by adding synonyms, by rephrasing queries. You can change retrieval by adding filters, facets, by doing relevance filtering. You can also change the way we rank your results by using Boost and Bury, or also by controlling the ranking function that we're going to be using. And you can change or define what we should customize and what we should optimize the search for, either for click-through rate, for revenue per session, for ad revenue, anything that drives your business, you can express so that search can drive that. And finally, as I shown you in the demo before, you can also change the way AI overviews are generated by changing the prompt, by changing the answer configs, or even by choosing the latest model on Vertex AI. Now, just to give you a few examples of what this looks like, When you're using Vertex AI Search, you actually access many tools to understand how the search works, such as our ranking signals visibility. This is a feature where you can access many scores and many relevant signals within a search query to understand why this result is shown as the first or why this result is shown as the fifth result. This can help debug. It can also help understand how your search works. And you can go beyond that. You can also take these signals and you can actually define a custom ranking function. For example, you could say, hey, out of all of these signals, I actually want to focus primarily on the embedding signals. And so I can lower the weight of the keyword side of things. I can lower the weight of the conversion. Or you can change those and you can do that on an API call level, meaning on a query level. So this gives you a lot of control over how you should change or how your search behaves. I'll give you a simple example. I might have a hotel search, and I actually don't want to take into account only relevance. I want also to make sure that hotels with the highest rating and with the highest number of raters are actually pushed up. And so I can take this custom ranking function and add to it a formula that says, hey, I want to take the logarithm of ranking number or the logarithm of ratings times the rate of a hotel, and that will make sure that it pushes hotels that are really rated well. So this just gives you some ideas of how much flexibility and control you have over the search. Now, I wanted to also mention that Vertex AI Search is way more than search. One of the functionalities that it provides out of the box is AI overviews and AI mode, which are generative answers grounded in your data to transform your customer experiences. These can be used for multiple use cases. You can have them engage with your users, such as what we did in the case of Forbes. It can also help explain your services, help your users compare between different services. For example, if you're an insurance or a telecom service. And you can also deflect customer support. If people come to your site and have questions such as, how do I pay my bill? How much roaming do I have access to abroad in Europe? All of these can be answered using AI Overview. We have two formats or two capabilities. AI Overview allows you to very quickly provide answers, engage your customers, and personalize that experience. AI mode allows you to tackle the most complex queries by adding more reasoning. It also supports more immersive experiences because you access audio as an input, audio as an output, as well as images as an output. And one final thing I wanted to touch on is personalization. So as we've seen before, Vertex AI Search powers personalization across all of the different capabilities we've seen. You get personalized search, you get personalized AI answers, and you can actually also get personalized browse. Now, what do we mean by this? If you take a step back and think about what users do on your website, many of them actually come to the site and they just browse the homepage, they browse category pages, and they discover and interact with your website and app without searching. And this is an opportunity to personalize these feeds for them and drive engagement and monetization. This is what personalized browse allows you to do. It takes user interactions and then connects those with the type of articles or the type of hotels people interact with and end up booking. Navigation patterns for users. Where do they come from? What pages are they browsing? And the filters that they're using. And all of this helps create deep learning models that help us personalize the feeds for each of your users. And what this leads to is experiences that are unique at the user level and that drive engagement and conversion. And obviously, as usual, you can always layer on top of this your own editorial rules, your own strategic configurations to, for example, define what date range articles should be shown or what type of hotels we should be pushing, and that can be taken into account. So this is an exciting feature that helps go beyond just the search and actually covers all of the interactions on your digital properties. And finally, agentic mode is the next step in search interactions. So we just saw what the future of customer interactions looks like, and this is exactly what Vertex AI Search is powering today. And the power of our solution is that it takes you from the first step, which always starts from search, all the way to personalization, upgrading into AI mode and agentic interactions towards the end. All of this powered by the same layer of data, by the same integration, and by the same layer of personalization. Agentic mode allows you to do more than answering questions. It allows you to provide deep customer support, offer a way for your users to research your services, compare them, do analysis between them. It helps book providers, for example, or book appointments, plan travel, get inspiration for travel, prepare home hunting. All of this is possible with agentic mode. And the way it works is that our agents connect to your data in Vertex AI Search, and you can also access external grounding capabilities such as Google Maps, Google Web Search, as well as connectors and APIs that are custom to your own business, such as APIs to get bookings, to make bookings. All of this powered by one personalization layer. Now, to summarize, we've just seen how Vertex AI Search can help modernize your site and apps using Google's latest AI, personalization, and search capabilities. With Vertex AI Search, you can get AI overviews and agentic mode in minutes on top of your data. You can also have deep relevance algorithms that help get exactly what your users are looking for, regardless of how they're expressing it. Advanced semantic intuitive search allows you to identify locations, filters, and really transform the way people search on top of directories and catalogs. Our AI powered personalization makes search not only a cost center, but actually a business driver, helping you engage your users more, helping you drive revenue, helping you drive loyalty to your own brand. And finally, all of this is underpinned by the customization that you need to make these experiences your own. And now we're going to look at one of our verticals, which is Vertex AI Search for Commerce. And now I'm going to pass it on to Shrey so that he can cover our commerce vertical.
Thanks a lot, Ismail. Hi, everyone. I'm Shrey Gulati, and I'm one of the product managers on Vertex AI. And I'm very excited to be here to talk about one of the vertical applications for agents that we've launched focused on commerce. Before I jump into what we built, I want to talk a bit about why we built this agent and sort of what need we saw emerging and what we heard from our users that brought this about. What we saw was a huge shift in how users were searching while shopping. So this is Google shopping data from 2024 across multiple countries, where we saw the highest increase was in categories like inspirational or questions, where instead of just asking for simple products, the users were now looking through way more complex queries. They were asking for their needs, or they were asking, what should I get for XYZ, or asking for inspirations for what their shopping needs were. And so as this evolved, it wasn't just how they were searching or what terms they were using, but also the complexity went way higher when instead of just asking for one single intent, they were smushing together 5 different intents in one place. So what you see here, for example, is instead of just asking for electric bikes, a simple product search, they're now asking about the range and the use and, for example, hills. And so all of this merged together, they're not just making it way more complex, but expecting us to understand what that means and show them the best set of most personalized results for it. And so it came to, how do we handle this complexity? How do we understand what they want and serve their needs in the best way? Which is why we launched our conversational commerce agents. And the way I love to talk about this is walking you through the whole set of queries, which these different parts of our stack can address, and sort of where do the agents kick in. At the very base of this, you see sort of our favorite query within our team is Taylor Swift Golden Globe dress. On the scale of complexity, we say that's the least complex of all, purely because there is a clear product that the customer is looking for. They know what they want. The complexity here is figuring out what that means or what is the closest match to that product in your catalog. For all of those things, we know Vertex AI for Search for Commerce, our core search product, is an industry leader and does an incredible job to show the most personalized results to get you that RPV lift you need for such product queries. But let's go a level up and look at these queries like dress, snack, mattresses. All of these are still product queries, but they're a little more vague. There's queries like this on a regular retailer website will have thousands of results. And so that's where your shoppers will get sort of overwhelmed on how do I navigate these thousands of dresses that I suddenly see. And to solve for that, we launched a whole slew of products. And I want to specifically talk about conversational product filtering, which helps guide from thousands to a few in a few steps. Let's see how it does that. So we launched this for Bed Bath & Beyond as an experiment last year. And now this product is GA, and I know a lot of our retailers are using it for great results. But specifically for Bed Bath & Beyond, they saw a greater than 5% revenue per visit lift at 100x ROI, purely by launching this experience. And what it does is for a query like coffee table, where you have like 3,500 results for coffee tables that were in their catalog, it asks the most important relevant questions. Now, this is a Gen AI generated question. For example, what color are you looking for? Which the model decided was the most important thing to ask to help narrow down. With these one-sided questions, we were able to narrow down from a number like 3,500 to under 20 in 3 to 4 turns. With that, it became much, much easier for a shopper to find exactly what they're looking for from a much more comprehensible, controllable number of results. So after this success, we're like, how do we handle way more complexity? We took on that challenge for answering queries like what wine pairs well with fish, or how do I build a roof deck? Now, in this case, these are very much shopping queries, but there's no clear product. Like there's no mention of a product in that entire set of 5 or 6 terms. So how do we handle this complexity? And for that, we've launched our conversational commerce agent, which is under preview and is already being used in production by quite a few of our pilot partners, and they're seeing incredible results from their user interactions. So let's look at how that works. Let's look at what that agent does. And then later today, I will talk about some of the upgrades which we're working upon and will be available soon, early Q3. I think the best way to talk about this agent is to see it live in action. So let's go on and jump into a demo. All right, so let's look at it live in action for a retailer. Now, this is an outdoor sporting goods retailer, which we're white labeled, but this is the agent live in action, not a pre-canned video or a demo, but we're talking to it, and let's see how it can help your shoppers find exactly what they're looking for. So let's think of a query here. I'm going camping with my kids to Yosemite in June. What all gear do I need? Now, for someone like me who's new to camping and very nervous when it comes to taking my kids to such activities, let's see how this agent can help. All right, let's walk through this response together. The very first thing it does, it gives you an answer directly for this complex query or question you had asked for camping with kids in Yosemite. So it says for that, you'll need family tents, sleeping bag, camping chairs, first aid kits. Actually, I might have forgotten first aid kits, so thank you for that recommendation. And it doesn't just talk about those products, it actually shows you the best set of products for each of those sort of queries or categories. It then also asks a follow-up question. It understands what that intent was, but it can always refine it further And so it's asking, are you planning to do any hiking in this case? Because then it can show you specific products for that hiking use case. And again, all of this is Gen AI. These are not deterministic, old school conversational flows. This is the agent deciding real time, personalizing for each user. So the answers, the products will be different for everyone who interacts with this agent. Let's keep going. Like I said, it shows these product results for each of those queries. And within each product, I can easily click, I can look what that is, and I can ask further questions if I need. And so how that would work maybe is as a next step to the journey, when I found a product which I'm considering, but we hear it loud and clear from our customers, and we've seen in our user studies that they have a lot of questions before they can make that final decision. For that right now, they struggle looking through reviews, through those lines and lines of product details, whether it solves their specific need. For example, I was looking for these kids Samaras hiking boots, which we saw up there, and are they waterproof? Very fair question to ask. But now, instead of going through multiple different pages or lines, I can simply ask and get a very clear answer. Yes, these are made for ISO-text technology and are very much waterproof. All of this, again, hopefully making it much easier, faster for your shopper and for you driving that conversion. But let's see what would have happened if I just searched for kids hiking boots. In this case, it just shows a set of product results. So let's maybe go to the top and see how it handles this intent. When there was this complex intent for going camping, kids Yosemite, and the agent understood that the user needs help, it went through this journey with an answer and a set of products. But when a user showed a very clear intent of kids hiking boots, all it did was help you make that search call and show the best personalized results for that clear intent. So this intent detection, which is an inherent part of our agent, is what helps you drive the user to the right sort of path for their shopping journey. So that's the first step, which is this intent detection and classification. Second, what we do is we rephrase this query. So the agent picks up all of these natural language query which the user shared and then tries to understand what camping, kids, and Yosemite means. Now, the question we get most often from our merchants is, do I need to have these tags like camping, kids, Yosemite in my catalog? Yes, that was important in the old days, but not anymore. That is the job of our agent to figure out. So what we do now is it understands the camping intent and matches it closest with your catalog. So it'll understand that what we have for family tents and sleeping bags, which you already exists in your catalog, is the closest thing to answer this requirement in need from the customer. So that rephrasing and matching is a very important part of this agent to help your shopper. But we didn't want to stop there. So how do we make this agent even more helpful? We launched into the first iteration of multimodal through image search. So for example, I saw these really cute hats which my kids' friends were wearing, and I wanted exactly that. So I can now upload an image into our conversational agent, and it goes into the multimodal mode to find the best or closest match to that image in your catalog. So now we're going from just text-based to adding more image or visual shopping, which is often very helpful for such journeys. But how do we go even further to, like I said, drive that conversion? A very common need we saw or we heard about was answering those shopping ancillary or shopping related questions which your customers have. So for example, I want to know, can I return these in 30 days, just in case they don't fit my kids? And so now, instead of grounding just on your catalog, we can also make sure this agent grounds on any other information you might have. For example, unstructured FAQ data to say, yes, absolutely, these camping hats can be returned within 30 days for a full refund because that's our policy. So as you saw through a whole different set of queries and interactions, this agent steps into different parts of that shopper's journey and helps them with different modes it has. So let's jump back and maybe do a quick refresher of what all we saw here. First of all, the most important part, which we kept as a principle for this agent, was it's very ROI focused. Through that intent detection and classification, the agent triggers into LLM mode only when it sees that complex intent, or only when it knows that it can drive a higher conversion or revenue for that intent. So for simple products, it just did not trigger conversation. Second, we saw it handle really complex user intents and retaining that context throughout the journey. It understood that camping in summer was my need, and throughout the journey, if I kept interacting, it would have maintained that and helped me instead of refreshing again and again or asking multiple search queries with the same old context, just because older products would not have remembered this. Thirdly, and very importantly, we are always product first. We know your shoppers are here to shop and not look at walls of text of LLM interactions. So our focus is to always show those products with each interaction, and not just any products, but the most personalized and relevant products for that intent. We built this for commerce. Our goal here is, again, not to have a generic chatbot or LLM interaction or just any generic agent out of the box. So our focus is very much to drive conversion, is to have those not transactional, but focused conversations that answer the questions, show the products, and does everything they need for their shopping commerce journey. And lastly, and most importantly, we know it's an important concern for you, which is safety and responsibility that comes in with agents. And this is a new space which everyone's sort of just getting introduced to. So what we've done is gone beyond just what comes out with Gemini. We've added a whole set of responsibility layers and safety layers in Vertex. And also we're giving you the control to make sure you can decide what the agent talks about or doesn't talk about. It meets your own policy and restrictions that you might have. So that is what is available today. This agent's live. A lot of our customers are using it. You can see grocery or fashion retailers and interact with it and driving incredible results with their shoppers. Now, what I want to talk about is the upcoming upgrades and various launches we have to make these agentic journeys even richer and be able to handle way more complexity. Very first is our upgrade on multimodal. We saw image search where you could have just gone in and uploaded the image of a dress and found the closest dress in the catalog. But now you can actually talk about that image. You can interact, for example, if this is the dress I'm wearing, what should my partner wear? So the agent in this case understands the complex intent. It reasons that this is what the shopper is looking for, and then helps them shop with the best set of results. And it can also be used for non-fashion use cases. For example, like for home goods, you upload the image of a room and say, all right, help me, make it cozier, or help me figure out what should I buy for this corner. All of those interactions will be available with the conversational agent early Q3. We're already seeing our users interact with this in preview, and we're hitting incredible results or feedback from them for these journeys, which earlier would just not be able to solve or needed like an in-person, in-store interaction. We want to take multimodal to the next step by going beyond just image understanding or image search to bring in these more complex use cases, for example, virtual try-on. In this case, it's about not just interacting, but modifying that image. So this can be used for fashion. And again, like the example I gave for home goods, where you can upload a room and play around with different furniture there. And all of this will be available, again, in a conversational mode, which we are hearing is from our customers is makes it much easier than the old school, simple search ways for users to interact with these complex multimodal journeys. And we're not just stopping here with Tryon, we're also soon bringing in AR like capabilities through this agent, where you can live interact with the environment and ask questions. You look at a product in store, you can bring up the agent and ask questions about that product if, let's say, you don't find a store executive inside. So that's on multimodal, but how do we tackle, like I was saying, further complexity for when you have these specific requirements or these high value, high consideration journeys, like strollers or televisions or these noise canceling headphones, where we see shoppers spend hours and days researching on what the best fit for them is. So now we're bringing this capability to your retailer website or your commerce website to help them research and find that best product. What we do is, first of all, handle multiple complex sort of these considerations or requirements like best headphones under X dollars, battery life, and so on. And we will bring in this capability to ground in not just your catalog, but also ground in the Google Web's inherent knowledge. So you can control sort of which website are those trusted ones where it grounds on, but it can bring in all that information which you might not have, but other trusted websites have, to help answer questions about those headphones or any other features they might have. And not just that, maybe bring it in a side-by-side format for your customers to easily understand the capabilities of different products in your catalog. All of this, again, just to help them with better decide and better convert for exactly what they're looking for. So this is sort of our agentic capabilities that we're bringing soon, but we're also will be available with agent-to-agent capabilities that will be somewhere around middle of Q3. And what our goal with that is, we start with this intent detection or orchestration, which is deciding what the user is looking for in this case, and then routing it to the right agent. So that agent retains that context, persists, and figures out, all right, if they're looking for shopping, that's the conversational agent. Suddenly they're asking about where's my order, passes it on to your support agent. Or not just these Google agents, but also if you're building your own agents for scheduling, for pickup, or for other such journeys which can be automated, all of that will be available in this one seamless journey through our agent-to-agent capabilities. And that can help your shopper interact through conversation or through any other agentic mode and not have to go back and forth in different experiences. So all of these seamless agent capabilities and more coming very, very soon within our Vertex AI stack. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're very excited for you to get your hands on and try out some of our agents. Thank you.